prepare for Celpip from the beginning, there are several things that I would definitely not do. And the interesting thing is that most students actually do them. They actually prepare this way. They watch hours of videos, memorize vocabulary lists, do random practice tests, but they don't help them and their score doesn't improve. So today I'm going to show you 5 mistakes I would avoid if I prepare for Celpip again. And the first one is watching too many random YouTube videos. The first thing I would not do is spend time watching YouTube videos like for Celpip preparation. YouTube can be helpful, but the thing is that information is fragmented. One video is about reading, the other is about speaking, another gives tips, and there is no structure. That is the problem. There is no clear system, there is no structure. And students often feel that they practice a lot, like watching videos on YouTube. But actually they're collecting tips instead of actually studying, instead of building skills. Yeah, and doing something by themselves. What I would do, I would follow one clear preparation plan where every skill is practiced step by step. So I would choose a guided course that helped me to build my skills for every Celpip part, for listening, reading, writing and speaking. And I would actually practice, not just like watching and doing nothing, like trying to memorize and then go to the exam without practicing. The next thing I wouldn't do is memorizing complex vocabulary. Many people believe that if they learn some sophisticated words, their score just skyrocket, but it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it is better to say like simpler, in a more simple, natural way than using just some advanced vocabulary. For example, instead of I was extremely elated and exhilarated, the simple I was really happy works better because it conveys the emotion. Yeah. And the same thing works in IELTS. The examiners, when they hear these unnatural phrases, they may lower the score, because all the phrases, all the vocabulary should be natural. So instead of just memorizing some difficult vocabulary lists, I would just learn the words that I do not know, of course, from my test. Like if I practice, I do listening, reading tests. Yeah, if I don't know some words, I would learn them, obviously, but not that the words that just I don't use in real life. I don't need them. I don't need them to learn for the exam as well. The third mistake is practicing speaking without feedback. I would definitely avoid this. Speaking completely alone without feedback. Recording yourself can help, but the problem is that people often don't notice their own mistakes. I had hundreds of students preparing for Celpip, and usually they miss grammar patterns. They have unclear structure, they have incomplete answers, they have some mistakes, like grammatical mistakes they do again and again. For example, they could say I'm agree, or I would like to give you advices, and they even don't understand, they don't realize they're making the mistake. So the best way is, of course, ask for help from a professional, from a teacher, from a Celpip instructor, the person that can listen to your answers or read your answers, writing, yeah, and give you advice how to improve. What should you do to improve? What mistakes are you making and how to correct them? The next mistake, number 4, is ignoring the Celpip format. I would definitely not do it. I had students that came to us to prepare for Celpip after they failed their first attempt, and when I asked how they started, they said that they learned just English with another teacher, just general English. But the exam, any exam, it's not just about general English. For every exam you need to prepare to learn particular skills that exam checks. You need to learn the format, because every exam has different formats and you need to adjust yourself to be able to survive that format. And the same is for Celpip. The students must learn how to organize speaking answers, how to manage time, how to identify trap answers in reading, how to structure writing tasks. all of that, without these things, without strategy, even students with good English, advanced English, they sometimes receive lower scores because they didn't adjust their knowledge to this structure, to the format of the exam. Fifth mistake is taking too many practice tests too early. I would definitely not do that. I would prepare and analyze my mistakes at the same test, and only then, when I understood why these answers were wrong, I can go to solve the next test in order to improve. But what I see among the students who prepare for Celpip is that they just do practice test after practice test, and they just check their score and move on to the next practice test. And they never analyze their mistakes, and that is the huge problem. So you should avoid doing that. Don't just check your score and move on. Yeah, try to come back and analyze why that answer is wrong. Why did you choose the wrong one? What was the problem there? Yeah, try to understand why that answer is correct. Yeah, if you do that, you improve. And don't go to the next test unless you figure out everything, every answer in the previous one. So that's why you need to keep working on the same test for like several times, yeah, and then if you do everything right, yeah, you understand all of your mistakes, yeah, only then you should move on to the next one. Preparing for Celpip becomes much easier when you have the strategy, when you have enough practice, and when you receive feedback on your writing and speaking answers. That's also in my Celpip preparation course. We focus not only on like practicing format, giving answers, but also on understanding how the test is actually evaluated. I explain to students what are the criteria and what they should mention, what they should do in their answers, writing and speaking tasks in order to receive the maximum score. By the way, I record a separate video about Celpip criteria that examiners use to evaluate your answers. If you are interested, you can watch it after this one. And if you need help in your Celpip preparation, I have a Celpip preparation course. You can check the website, I will leave the link below this video, and choose the option that suits you the most. And I wish you luck in your Celpip exam, and see you in next videos. Take care.